It's Eddie Van Halen, he just said, was his idol when he was young. Eddie Van Halen was also my idol when I was young. We are almost the same age.
So good to meet somebody who
Eddie Van
thinks
Halen.
the same.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Eddie. We love you. Stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, now I guess he's getting older there. Van Halen doesn't play in Korea yet. Huh? Have they ever played in Korea?
No, not
Never,
yet.
right?
It's like one of those dreams. Actually, Steve Vai, he was here in Korea back in 1997.
Wow.
And I got to jam with him.
You're kidding.
Yeah, well, no. Well, see, we
Amazing.
met at a studio in a broadcast station because they needed somebody who was a musician and who can like translate his music at the same time. So obviously just thought of me, and I, had the great chance to meet him, and I brought along all my CDs, and I asked him to, for his autograph for all of them.
Yeah.
I think it was like more than 10 at the time. So he was like, wait, I'm really grateful that I have a fan like you here in Korea.
Right.
And, well, hey, what do you do? And I was like, hey, I'm a guitar player too. And actually, we were like one of the, most popular bands in Korea at the time. The next, in the mid-90s.
Wow.
And, well, he was like, hey, do you know any of my songs? And I was like, yes. I can play anything from Passion and Warfare. And he was like, hey, bring your guitar tomorrow. So that's how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah, just like that. We got...
On stage?
Yes.
When he played?
Yes. So we jammed in the rehearsal for like 5 minutes before the show. And we just did it.
Dream come true.
Right, exactly. I mean, see, well, thank you for mentioning that again.
It's a dream come true.
I know how many fans Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen or Steve Vai can actually have.
Right.
But how many people can actually be up on stage to fulfill their dream of jamming with your own hero?
Yeah.
And even though I was selling like millions of copies of CDs at the time, still, he was my idol.
Yeah.
And for me, he was like my guitar god. And I felt really lucky to have fulfilled my dream to like actually jam with him. But now I look at the film, I'm really ashamed though, because honestly, I look like a groupie. I'm too naive on stage. Usually, if you're a star, you would actually just look at your fans, just focus on, having fun, just enjoying the time. But if you look at the footage of that performance that day, I look like a guitar kid, still in high school, looking up to this great guitar monster. And that's how I was. I'm really being honest.
Well, and there's nothing you should be ashamed of. Geez, how old were you at the time? Early 20s?
Yeah, well, 26.
26.
So, well.
Playing with Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Come on. You're going to be mesmerized and amazed. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, well, so I really do feel lucky to have had this great opportunity to jam with your own hero. And another occasion actually happened recently. Besides like being in love with Jimi Hendrix and like all these great guitar gods, my other passion and love for music was in classical music. And one of the most heard classical music pieces here in Korea, or for me, even while we were in the States, was the Vivaldi Four Seasons. And, the chamber orchestra called I Musici from Italy were actually responsible for bringing the fame of the piece back after 200 years.
Okay.
Back in the spotlight after the Second World War, actually. And I Musici were like playing the Vivaldi Four Seasons so beautifully in the original format. It gave back the birth of the fame of the piece once again, including Korea. So my dream all this time was to actually play the piece, but recently, just like having jammed with Steve Vai while I was 26, I got to play with the Musici, like a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
So
again.
Yes. So the
entire orchestra.
Yes.
How many people are in the
Well, it's a chamber orchestra.
Chamber orchestra.
they have 12 members.
Okay.
In the orchestra. Yes.
Okay.
And they.
You were the 13th.
Well, I guess
for a song for
yes.
Vivaldi. Okay.
Yes. We would like trade off like music pieces.
Yeah.
They would perform the spring and autumn pieces, and I would perform the summer and winter pieces. And we were really happy about the result. And i-Muzici, of course, they're like the most famous and the popular chamber orchestra in the whole wide world,
yeah.
resembling the Vivaldi Four Seasons. So I was really grateful.
Very cool.
And yes, it's another great feeling. Like I know, well, performing with Steve Vai is a dream fulfilling moment, but yeah, at the same time, i-Muzici, being on stage with them, it was like just fantastic.
And let's talk about how you got to these incredible places. Now, as I understand it, your mother was a guitarist too?
Yes, she was a classical guitar player and also a painting artist who majored in these arts in her undergraduate days. And
in Korea?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. Yes, in Korea. And back at the time, well, shamefully, if you were to get married and like the wife would have to stay in the house, take care of the kids, which was me, and our fathers would go out and work. And as they would say, bring the dough back. Yep. So that's exactly what happened in our house in the States as well. And
돈은 반죽인데 반죽은 그 돈하고 비유하는 거예요. Yeah, so
exactly.
The husband has to bring back the
this?
dough. Yes.
Right. Are we allowed to say this?
Yes, you can. 한국말 해야 돼요. You have to.
All right.
When there's something, we just kind of explain the difficult expressions in Korean.
Well, I'm really lucky to have you as my host today.
You can help me too if you. So she gave up those studies.
Totally.
In order to accompany your father. Well, you know, that happens with a lot of couples.
Well, yes.
Somebody's got to give up their career to support the other person's career because you have to move a lot, right?
Yes. I think it happened to all of the misses in the diplomat families in Washington,
it's guaranteed,
D.C.
Yeah.
And like most of the wives, I think about half of the wives in Washington at the time actually majored either in music or in fine arts. And yeah, they would gather up and just, you know, have a chat, you know, the women
Korean?
chat. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And about like how much